Judge Aileen Cannon, who is overseeing Donald Trump's classified documents case, has come under intense scrutiny from legal experts for her perplexing decisions and delays. Critics argue that her actions suggest a bias in favor of Trump, raising serious concerns about her competence and impartiality.
Well-justified doubts about the ability and the experience that this judge should have to deal with this kind of challenging case and the kind of aberrant and seemingly erratic decisions made by this judge, I think, raise serious questions about whether she should be sitting on a case that is not only high profile, but also highly challenging in terms of the legal, logistical, and other issues that are raised.
She postponed the start of the federal trial indefinitely, pending the outcome of various appeals and motions. The trial was initially scheduled to begin last month, but has been put on indefinite hold by Cannon. The complicated system she has set up for redacting public filings has exacerbated delays, with it taking nearly 3 months for several major pretrial motions to even to the redaction process. As of early June 2024, she had not decided foundational questions that will determine whether the case will go to trial at all. Lisa Rubin, a lawyer and legal analyst for MSNBC, didn't hold back, calling out Cannon for her slow and confusing handling of Trump's motions.
Guess as to when this trial will begin. Is there any chance it could happen before the election? And lastly, is there any recourse here for Jack Smith?
Let's start with, can this case be tried before the election? I think that ship has long since sailed. Yesterday was no surprise. I can't underscore how little of surprise it was. It was more surprising that Stormy Daniels got on the stand and said that she had sex with Donald Trump than it was that Aileen Cannon postponed her trial date. She has a number of motions that have even yet to be scheduled that are required under the Classified Information Procedures Act. She has a number of pending motions that have been fully briefed for months now, on which she has made no decision. I wouldn't venture a guess at when this case would be ready for trial, and I believe that's by design. I continue to be disappointed by Aileen Cannon and her execution of the role of federal jurist here.
Rubin pointed out that Cannon has only resolved 2 motions, scheduled arguments for 2 more, and stalled on 3 others, potentially letting Trump compel evidence relevant to 1. She described Cannon's management of her docket as baffling and highly problematic. Former federal prosecutor Jeffrey Toobin chimed in, labeling Cannon's conduct of the case as wildly, totally, crazily unusual. Toobin suggested that Cannon's actions seemed like an attempt to undermine the prosecution. Watch this clip.
How unusual is this for Judge Cannon to, first of all, let's talk about the allowing third parties in.
This whole way she has conducted this case is wildly, totally, crazily unusual. And the allowing of outsiders to participate in a day-and-a-half hearing that most judges would decide on briefs or maybe give 10 minutes aside to argue is just another illustration that she is trying to kill this prosecution. That's the only conclusion you can draw. No other judge in the federal system that I'm aware of would treat these issues anything like what she's trying to do.
She canceled a 3-day hearing scheduled for June 24th through 26, 2024, where Trump's lawyers were supposed to request communications between the Special Counsel's office and national security agencies. This hearing was rescheduled for a later, unspecified date. Judge Cannon has scheduled hearings on relatively minor or long-shot issues, like Trump's motion to dismiss the indictment based on the alleged illegal appointment of the Special Counsel Jack Smith, which, let's be clear, was appointed properly. And in line with all other special prosecutors, instead of focusing on core substantive matters, Cannon is basically working for the Trump's legal team, stalling, delaying, doing whatever she can to slow walk this case to a dismissal. Legal analysts view this as yet another delaying tactic. Former Miami-Dade County Judge Jeff Schwartz didn't mince words either, suggesting that Cannon's rescheduling of hearings is a deliberate move to delay the trial. Schwartz argued that if Cannon is intentionally dodging rulings, she doesn't belong on the bench. He also questioned her competence, saying that if she's clueless about handling these matters or just plain lazy, she shouldn't be presiding over the case.
Judge Jeff Schwartz. Judge, thanks for being with us. And let's start with this new court schedule. The gag order hearing will now take place in late June. And then after that's over, Judge Cannon will hold a hearing on whether Special Counsel Jack Smith can continue with this case. Why do you think she's decided to reshuffle the schedule and hear the gag order first?
I can come up with no other reason than she is purposely avoiding ruling on certain matters and doing the best she can to delay the trial of this cause as long as she possibly can. I just can't come up with a reason. If she is that ignorant of how to handle these matters, then she doesn't belong on the bench. If she's doing it because she's lazy, then she doesn't belong on the bench. And if she's doing it just to delay, then she doesn't belong on the bench.
Cannon's rulings have consistently seemed to benefit Trump, including delaying the trial start until potentially next year. Trump has pleaded not guilty to 40 charges related to allegations that he illegally kept classified materials after leaving office in January 2021 and obstructed federal attempts to get them back. Despite these charges, there are still concerns about finding more documents, with some reportedly discovered as recently as last month. In cases this big, involving serious allegations of mishandling classified documents and obstruction of justice, defying subpoenas and harboring documents in the toilet, Donald Trump is full of BS, and his lawyer already lied about returning all documents, now facing disbarment and legal issues of her own. If the judicial process isn't on point in the Trump case, then we will be definitely witnessing that two-tiered justice system he talks about working in his favor. Federal judges are supposed to manage their dockets efficiently, make timely rulings on motions, and avoid unnecessary delays that could mess with the administration of justice. The law mandates that judges act impartially and uphold the integrity of the judicial process.
What would be a more normal way to handle this?
Well, this case has basically been mishandled by her from the beginning, allowing Mr. Trump to file an action in civil court regarding a search warrant, which is criminal in nature and gets handled during the course of criminal litigation, was the first mistake. Twice she has been reversed by the 11th Circuit, and she's been chastised by them for, in essence, making decisions which are completely against the law, completely against pending precedent.
Judge Aileen Cannon's handling of Trump's case has raised major red flags about her impartiality and competence. Legal experts argue that her actions suggest a bias in favor of Trump and a deliberate attempt to delay the trial. Given the serious charges against Trump, it's crucial that the case is handled fairly and efficiently. The appointment of Special Counsel Jack Smith by Attorney General Merrick Garland was done by the book, and it's essential that the judicial process isn't undermined by delays and questionable rulings. Judge Cannon's failure to meet expected legal standards and her apparent bias call into question her suitability to preside over this case. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. And please don't forget to subscribe. It'll truly help the cause and help me reach more people. Stay alert, fam.